and gentlemen, we are back with yet another video of the Arizona Sports Fan. Thank you so very much for coming back, guys. I really do appreciate it. Now, in this video, I wanted to go ahead and continue from my last video and talk about the 2020 training camp for the Arizona Cardinals. Now, I've been saying this on my last video. There's been a lot of little stories that are coming out of training camp, just kind of like little stories that are meant to excite you for this coming 2020 season. And this is what I wanted to continue on part 2 of my last video. So on this video, I wanted to go ahead and talk about training camp, but more about the defensive side. So that's why I have my Chandler Jones jersey, guys. Let's go ahead and jump right into it. Guys, now welcome back. Thank you so very much for coming back. Now, like I mentioned in the intro, I want to talk about the training camp for 2020 for the Arizona Cardinals. Want to focus a little bit more on the defensive side of the ball, just because there is some stories that are coming out about it, and I want to go ahead and talk about it. Now, I do this in all my videos here. Before we get started, if you're new, please consider subscribing. I want to make sure we hit 3,000 subscribers by the time the first kickoff starts for the Arizona Cardinals versus the 49ers game. Let's see if we can hit that goal. Without further ado, let's go ahead and just jump right into it here, guys. First things first, I want to talk about Jalen Thompson. There was an article out there that Vance Joseph stated that Jalen Thompson is the answer at safety. Now, that right there is super exciting to me. Jalen Thompson was a 5th round pick, I believe, in the 2019 supplemental draft. So some exciting things about Jalen Thompson is that he's still very young. I'm really excited to see what happens with Jalen Thompson. I can hope that he'll be like our strong safety of the future. Jalen Thompson, as far as stats for last year, wasn't like extravagant. It wasn't like, oh wow, but he ended up getting a interception, and he also recovered a fumble. So he's around the ball when he needs to be, and honestly, with Budda Baker back there, I think it just makes it that much better. Kind of segueing me into my next topic here, I wanted to talk about Budda Baker. There was a article out there saying that Budda Baker is turning heads in training camp. Now, when I hear this, I don't know, I kind of don't think too much into it because it's training camp. It's practice at the end of the day. So, I mean, they're not exactly 100% like going all the way, but I do know that Budda Baker is a awesome talent, and I'm really excited to see if he does become like an Earl Thomas, or what he really reminds me of is Tyrann Mathieu, our former Honey Badger. When he was with us, we ended up drafting him in the 3rd round, and we ended up getting Budda Baker in the 2nd round. But his play really reminds me of Tyrann Mathieu. Some might say that Budda Baker is better because he's on our team currently, but honestly, I see kind of the same qualities in Budda Baker, and I see that the Cardinals are trying to use him exactly the same way. Budda Baker, man, he's definitely somebody that you got to keep your eyes on. I can see a back-to-back Pro Bowl for Budda Baker, and just super excited to see what he's going to turn into. I hope that he's going to be the superstar that we all here in the Arizona Cardinals fan base want him to become, especially having Patrick Peterson back there and having Budda Baker. It just overall seems like a really good secondary so far. A few things that I want to bring up before I go ahead and do my last topic about Patrick Peterson. I wanted to talk about, I'm noticing that the Arizona Cardinals are bringing in a lot of different players to try to work out. I don't really know exactly like what the extent is, if they're looking for that other spot, because Marcus Gilbert ended up opting out of the 2020 season. If they're looking into filling in that spot, so far the names that have came out to me is wide receiver from BYU. I don't really know to say his name, so I apologize if I butcher it, but I think it's Aliva Haifo. I could very well be butchering that, but they're trying to work him out to see exactly what he has and what he can bring into the Arizona Cardinals. In college, it seemed like he had a pretty good season, had some pretty good stats that I looked over. And then next player that I wanted to bring up was quarterback Kelly Bryant. He ended up starting as a quarterback for Clemson at one point, and don't really know too much the extent of that. I know right now we're sitting with Kyler Murray, obviously, as a starter. Number 2 is going to be Brett Hundley. And I think they're probably looking into maybe another quarterback spot to have 3 quarterbacks for the 53-man roster. So those are some players that you should definitely go ahead and take a look into. I'm really curious to find out, who else they're working out. I also did forget to make another video about the specific, these signings, but the Arizona Cardinals did also make 2 signings for the past week ago. Wide receiver Andre Patton, I believe his name is, and then also safety Kentrell Bryce. Don't really know too much about those players. I know one of them played in Green Bay for a certain period of time. I believe it was Bryce. Correct me if I'm wrong, but yeah, it's really cool to kind of see, you know, the Arizona Cardinals still trying to look for talent, still trying to see if we can find some more pieces to get the best team available for this 2020 season. Next topic here, and probably my last one, Patrick Peterson. My goodness, there was a picture that he put on Instagram, and you probably know what I'm talking about, but this guy is ripped. He's basically, he's ready to go, is what he's trying to imply. And I have no doubt in my mind that he is going to have a bounce back season. Now, 2019 was a crazy season for Patrick Peterson. He ended up being suspended for 6 games. And when he came back from suspension, he wasn't the same, and it took a while for him to get into football shape. And you can tell when he was out on the field, especially because he was getting burnt by a lot of wide receivers out there. But honestly, I didn't fault him too much. I do think Patrick Peterson is going to have a bounce back 2020 season. This guy is ready to go. As you didn't tell in that picture that he posted on Instagram, it is crazy. 2019, like I mentioned, it really wasn't a good year for him. First time he didn't make the Pro Bowl, and probably first time he wasn't in the top 100, which I honestly do feel like he's going to use that for motivation and get himself better to get these milestones that he loves to thrive on. This guy he wants to be the best. There's no doubt in my mind that Patrick Peterson he's not a slouch. He's not the guy that gets paid and just pretty much just kind of like, you know, relaxes the rest of the way. Patrick Peterson is chasing one thing. He's chasing greatness, and he's trying to be in the Hall of Fame. And honestly, it was such a great pickup for the Arizona Cardinals to get Patrick Peterson, P2, what we know him here as well. So really excited about him, and happy to see what his bounce back season is going to look like. If he's going to be able to lock down those #1 wide receivers, super excited to see that. And I really want to see what's going to happen for that second cornerback spot opposite side of Patrick Peterson. If it's going to be Robert Alford, it's going to be Byron Murphy. Hopefully we'll be getting our answers soon. Super excited about it, man. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. If there was a story that I might have missed that you want me to look into, or do you just want me to read just in general, definitely put it in the comments below. If you're new, please consider subscribing, guys. But yeah, that's going to be the end for my training camp updates, training camp recap. But yeah, that's all I got for this episode, guys. Thank you so much, and I'm out. Thank you.